Well, hello and welcome to the Impact Dynamics podcast.
I'm Andy Little.
And I am Rusty.
We're a couple of blokes to talk about shooting, firearms and what a pre-poop feels like.
Tonight's episode's all about Shot Show.
Woo!
Match director, mate. Match director. Hello, Andy.
Hooray!
Hooray. Hope that's enough.
We need your vote.
Now we've caught up to where we are on the podcast.
All right, go on back.
Roll the outro. All right, Andy Little, how are you? It's been a long time.
Has been a very long time, and I've realised that I should stay away from coffee before a show.
As you down a coffee, perfect. That's the way to be.
That's it.
Josh, welcome back.
Good to be back.
You haven't really left this place.
I have not at all, but that's all right.
But we're back after the Golden Yeats last year.
Yep.
And lots has been going on. There is much to discuss, much to talk about, but really only talking about two things tonight. One, you may have noticed the intro was a bit different tonight, Andy. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Yeah, no, I definitely did.
You did? Okay, good. The intro is a bit different, and the name of the show is a little bit different because we've made some changes.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Well,
hi.
Wrong drums.
That's the wrong button. Anyway, we have changed the name, and not much else has changed. The intro's changed a little bit, but we sort of, the direction the podcast's going, where we want to go with the ID YouTube channel and stuff like that. So we're sort of bringing it all under the one umbrella now. Andy's going to appear in more Impact Dynamics videos.
Yep. I'm hoping you can visually listen more.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's still going out on the podcast stream. It's still going out on what is currently the Precision Shooting Podcast YouTube channel that will get tweaked and adjusted and stuff, and we've got a slightly different logo and all sorts of stuff. So nothing major in terms of changes to the stupid content we do, although we do have a few ideas for some tweaks this year. So this sort of gives us a little bit of a fresh start to come up with some bits and pieces, and here to entertain you and hopefully learn a few things ourselves, and maybe you guys might learn a few things as we learn.
Yeah, Josh will be there heckling with us. So
Josh,
that's all I'm there for.
That is pretty much all Josh does.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
well,
that's it.
Before we just kick things off, my missus did some looking around, and she got us.
So you got a new. So you're looking for a new missus, is what you're saying? She's like, why am I with this bloke?
Why do I always say this wrong?
Why couldn't I get one better? All right, cool. But, so, what's his name?
Well, the little precision shooting. Nah, what am I? What's my thing? Nah,
I have no idea what you think. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. You're devastated because she left you.
Yeah, no, that's it. And she went out. She had a little look around. She got us a little something, and I thought I would present
us. Taking this the entirely wrong way.
Present us with this,
the whiskey bullet glass.
We could do a little unboxing.
Okay. And just because something comes in a box doesn't mean. Anyway, get into it. Unbox it.
Oh no,
unbox it.
I think we both got to do this.
Oh, do we? Oh, okay. So it's like one each.
You take one.
I'll take one, and you take one. Oh, there's something pointy on the edge. I'm going to cut myself on that. Is there one for Josh? No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't even know who Josh is.
Feeling the love back here.
We'll get more. All
right, I've got some bubble wrap here. Josh, you can have the bubble wrap.
Thanks.
Throw that over.
Didn't make it to me.
That did not go very well at all. Look at this. Mine's upside down. That's not going to drink out of very well.
Oh, that sounds like a you problem. And this sounds like a Josh problem.
Yeah, that one's. I threw that one.
Yeah,
I
got something.
Good. All right. So these are, for those who are listening, these are glasses that have been pushed in the side with a projectile. Do you have any idea what projectile that is? It's a copper projectile.
I'm pretty sure. Isn't that the what was the caliber? 8mm Creedmoor or something that Dutchie really wanted?
7.62 Creedmoor, I think.
Yeah.
You'll find. Yeah. Okay, good. So it's got a bullet in the side. Well, I guess it's all good. These are the whiskey bullet glasses. It's all good having whiskey bullet glasses, but we haven't got whiskey.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Except you might have told me to bring whiskey. So have a guess where I've been recently.
Trying to figure out what American COVID tastes like.
Correct. And I found it. It's American honey. So I've got some American wild turkey, American honey whiskey. I'm going to douse some in yours.
Thank you.
And I'm going to throw, that's probably enough. I'm going to throw some in mine. It's probably a bit more. And Josh, you're welcome to have some if you want. I'll slide
I've
it.
still got gin.
You still got gin.
I'm good.
Oh, you still got. Oh, let's see, he's sorted.
All right, cheers. All right.
Cheers.
Now, hang on, we have to be careful how we cheers these. We don't want to smash the bullets into each other.
Don't want to.
We don't smash the
Touch
glass.
bases?
I don't want to touch bases with you.
Good.
No. All right.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Josh.
Cheers. Cheers to
just a tip.
2022. All right. Well, I have been to SHOT Show.
Yes.
That was a long time ago now. It feels like a long time ago because
Weeks.
guess what I caught in Vegas and what doesn't stay in Vegas?
COVID.
Yeah.
The big C to the D.
The Rona.
I got the Rona.
Starts with
I got
C, ends with
the Rona at some point, which doesn't surprise me over there. It was pretty loose. But anyway,
Yeah.
SHOT Show. SHOT Show is the big
Yeah.
industry show. It didn't happen last year.
Nope.
And I tell you what, felt like it nearly didn't happen this year.
Yeah, right.
For lots of reasons.
Yep.
Firstly, from a personal level, I only decided on the Monday before to go.
Right.
And
okay.
so I then had to get everything organised by Saturday to leave.
Yep.
Now, a normal, competent human could probably make that happen. I am not one of those. So I got to the airport and presented my vaccination and my test results and my this and that. And turns out I had the wrong vaccination certificate.
Ugh, no.
I didn't have the right test result thing. I just had the SMS saying you're negative. They're like, no, that doesn't count for America. You need a lab report and this and that. And it turns out that SA Health are pretty good. You can ring them, and about 7 minutes later, after paying them a monstrous amount of money, I had the lab results.
Oh, wow.
And you can then go online and download the correct vaccination certificate and then fill out the US forms. And so I made the plane with about 3 minutes to spare.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's intense.
It felt like it at the time.
Bad.
But anyway, so that's why it nearly didn't happen for me. And then, I travelled over there. I mean, the travel sucky, but I got in the state of Harrah's, which is the casino directly next to Venetian, which is where part of the show is. And I've stayed north of the strip and I've stayed south of the strip, and this was bang in the middle. And
Nice.
I tell you what, it was the best. From my hotel room to the show, it's about a 4-minute walk,
Oh, fantastic.
door to door. So that was very good.
Yep.
And we got in there Sunday, and I don't know if you've seen the video where we went. Butters and I went with a couple of Canadians friends,
Yes.
and we went around and we slung sand everywhere in Utah. Well, Kayla was there. She got in a bit later that afternoon. We went on a roller coaster.
Oh,
'Cause
fantastic.
that's what you do in Vegas.
Why not?
Why not? Went down, saw a few casinos and bits and pieces, and then we went and registered for the event. But the event itself, man, there was a lot of companies missing and a lot of
Right.
people missing.
Yeah, okay.
Like they normally get 60,000 to an event like that.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many there was, but it was a lot less than that.
Yep.
And then there's so for example, some of the companies didn't go. Ruger didn't go. Beretta didn't go. So that's Tika and Seiko and Burris and Steiner, and there was a
lot missing.
a lot missing.
Yeah.
And so they'd have these like big areas where the stand would have been that just had some chairs and be like a big sign saying we'll see you next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Ah,
There was a lot missing. I would guess, and I could be way wrong here, but I'd be guessing like about 30% of the stands were empty,
wow.
which is a lot.
Did you feel like having less people there enabled you to have better quality time?
It was
looking
so
around?
good.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
it was so much better.
So it was worth it.
It was so good because you had a lot less time wasters,
Yeah, nice.
and people who were just out to collect stickers and patches. Right, basically, you had most of the people there were trying to do business, trying to have meetings, and trying to have good conversations about it.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that led to I met some people I wouldn't have otherwise met,
Oh, good.
which was really good. But Monday was the range day.
Oh, yep.
And so I went along to that. And there wasn't a huge amount from my perspective of stuff that I was super interested on range day. But there was, I shot an AK for the first time, actually.
Sweet.
Because I'm sitting there, I'm just like packing my cameras up or doing something with the cameras. And a guy comes over, he's like, do you want to shoot an AK? I'm like, sure.
I'm
Sure.
Australian. Yes.
Force my hand. And so I went over and shot it. Still got the Rona, it seems.
Yeah.
I'll cover it.
Much better.
Much better. That's it. That's how you do audio. And so I went and shot the AK, and he's like, "Oh, so you should think about stocking these." I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
You didn't take note of your accent then.
Not really. No. and then I shot a scope.
Shot a scope? That's
Shot
not
a
very
scope.
good.
Yeah, I know. No, I was disappointed. No. the guys were some scope that had. I don't remember what was particularly amazing about it. It wasn't. I tried it and went, this is cool scope, but nothing phenomenal. And then I shot a Christensen's Arms rifle, and I'm like, guys, this is a new rifle you guys are releasing, and they're like, no, we're releasing one tomorrow. This is the old one. I'm like, would have thought you'd put it at range day so people could shoot the new one, but I don't know. But anyway, that was nice. I made a few shots on that out to about 1,000 meters, so
Very good.
that was good. And then just did the big wander around range day, and I went to aim point and shot some pistols and a
Cool.
AR of some sort.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to be able to just see what's out there and be able to play with toys that we just wouldn't get to here. Like, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was my first time. We went to range day, the last shot I went to, but as we drove in, they shut it down because it's too windy.
Yeah, okay. So what was it like there? Good weather?
So I spoke to one of the guys from Aim Point, and he'd been going to shot for 15, 20 years, and he said this is the first time on a range day the weather's been good.
Oh, wow.
And it was just like barely any wind. It was magic. It was
Nice.
really, really nice. And they, it was good.
Yeah,
and then, so that was Monday. That was good. And then we had a bit of an NRL PRS, it was an NRL precision rifle sort of meet up at the German
cool.
Brewhouse that evening.
Yep.
And if you know anything about the German Brewhouse in Vegas, it's very unique. They serve beer. That's not the unique part.
Chocolate?
Chocolate? I don't know if they serve chocolate, to be honest.
Wasn't Germany really good for chocolate?
Swiss
Actually,
chocolate, maybe? I don't know.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah. What else are Germany known for? The Germans known for? In the food, in the hospitality space, I should clarify that.
I'm not sure.
Pretzels, perhaps?
Oh, yes.
Schnitzels?
Of course.
These sort of things. Yeah, I was trying to lead you with some questions. But anyway, so we're having schnitzels and pretzels and that sort of gear. Well, the beer is such a big deal that if you order a shot, and this is a chain of restaurants all around the world.
I
There's
reckon
one
I
in
saw
Melbourne.
some short videos of it.
You might have seen some videos of this. So, and this is the only one of these restaurants that does this. If you order a shot, the lady comes out with the shots for you and will make you bend over a table and present. And then with a big paddle about this long, so what's that, about a bit under a metre or so, she will line up. She will take a few sort of aiming sort of swings.
Yeah.
And then we'll give you a massive crack from it on the arse with this massive wooden paddle per shot that you have.
Oh, right.
So if you're giving a double or something like that, you will end up with it.
Yeah.
And it is quite amusing to see the reaction
Yeah.
from some people.
Yeah.
Some people, no movement, no flinch. Some people are in agony.
Yeah.
It is quite amusing. So
Well,
that's...
I guess you learn you figure out, who was brought up in a certain way, don't you?
or who's into certain things.
That's true.
Whatever it might be.
But I did see that video, and it didn't look like they held back. They gave it. To them.
No. That's right. Yeah, you would have seen the one with Tino who got slapped hard. And then anyway, there was a drinking game that night, and who could drink the beer? I went up against Pete from Impact Shooting.
Yep.
And there was probably about 10 of us, I think, as well. And
Yep.
some huge, big mammoth dude won. Huge. And I came second, so I was pretty happy with
nice
that.
one. Very good.
Down to what are the
pretty big.
Not pint. The,
Like a Stein.
yeah, they're half steins.
Yeah.
They're half steins.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
that was a good fun night.
Yeah.
And spent some time with some awesome people. Got to meet. I sat down at the YouTubers table apparently because I'm looking around and going, I know all these dudes.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I introduced myself. So I don't know how I got on that one, but I was at that table. And
We've got a YouTube channel. So
I guess technically you are correct. Yeah, we're just in this very different league to the
yeah,
sitting
I mean, it must have been pretty cool, like sitting there and seeing all because a lot of those guys who went, like I spend a lot of time watching their stuff, and they put out some good stuff, really good content. So it would have been like a little bit surreal, going, "Oh my gosh, it's this person, and yeah, that'd be cool."
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't get to meet Andy Little, so I was a bit disappointed that night.
Yeah, no,
I have that feeling every time I come on the podcast.
No, that's the opposite. That's
Yeah.
the opposite. You're
mixing
disappointed,
them up.
not surreal.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Come on, mate.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm disappointed too.
In yourself. Where were we up to? Anyway, Tuesday onto the show, and look, the show. So I mean, I went through virtually not every stand because there's no way to possibly do that, but I went through a lot of stands and spent time at a lot of stands. And MDT, big shout out to Martin and Kyle and the team at MDT. They are just absolutely killing it. So I remember, and we did a video 5 years ago, 2017. We went and they had the ESS chassis. So they were building chassis. They'd done their TAC 21 and they'd done a few others since then. And then the ESS came out as a bit of a sort of a real step up,
game changer.
And I remember their stand was nothing to rave about. It was just it was their stand. Yeah, cool. And then to go along this year and see their stand, it was like it just looked epic. It just had a presence about it. You see sort of some of these shows where guys just have their booth and they just sit in their booth like like we've done at gun shows and stuff where you're there. And then some guys are like they own the space they're in.
Oh,
and these dudes just owned it, and they had so much new gear. The Gen 2 ACC chassis looks really good. Someone said to me, he's like, they're like, photos are good, but look like there was a bit of, like it almost looked like it was 3D printed. I'm like, yeah. Parts of it was. Because they're still not quite, they were taking feedback from shot and then they're going to put it in the hands of a few shooters. And then they're going to get that feedback to then build it from there. Yeah.
I remember, like, I have taken some notes and, like, they've put out heaps of stuff. I know, like, with their
so much
carbon fiber lightweight chassis sort of gear, all those, was it like recoil vibration buffers or something in the rear stock? And then I saw this other thing with the two little wings that attach to the fore end.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like, that's,
Yes, that's like, they go on the side of the fore end and then there's like a thumb rest for them, but there's a couple other, like there's a few different ways to use them.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's also, it flares out the bottom sort of like a gamer plate. So it turns the front of a ACC chassis into a gamer plate.
Pretty well,
it's very creative.
Yeah,
very
without
creative.
being like insanely wide or like awkward. It's just nice. It looked very nice and professionally
and they've sort
done.
of they've done multiple things in the same product. I think that's what's because obviously those products exist and those products exist separate, but they've put them all together in a very unique way.
Yeah,
so
they've definitely come a very long way in a short time.
That was awesome to see. And they had on their stand, because Vortex weren't at the show and Burris weren't at the show, they had the new Burris XTR Pro and they had the new Vortex Gen 3 Razor.
Nice.
So, and that was the first morning I bumped into the MDT guys and I'm like, this is just like, I might just hang here for a while.
Yeah.
So much. So I chatted to them about the new chassis and then I'm like, can I just play with these scopes for a bit? And they're like, of course, go for it. So, new Gen 3, I mean, very hard to see what it's like. That tier optic is very difficult to sort of see it at, like, in some hall.
Yeah, for sure. There's no way you can like sort of gauge its potential or gauge its clarity when you're looking only a couple hundred meters inside a building. Yeah.
But there was a huge buzz about it at the show, and so a lot of people. So a few people had theirs arrived at that point. Both who were at the show, but also guys who were out that week shooting them. And they were providing feedback through guys who aren't sponsored, don't have a direct connection to Vortex, just put the orders in, as soon as they knew.
Oh, nice.
And they were providing pretty independent feedback, which is, great.
Yeah.
And the reviews were just like, it is
good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
XTR, what is it, Pro? XTR Pro. That wasn't like, guys hadn't had it out. I think they pushed to get it to shot.
Yeah, the hype wasn't quite there.
Yeah, they weren't shipping product yet.
Yeah, yep.
So I don't know. It seems cool. Like some of the features of being able to take that cap off. I did that. That was it wasn't quick and easy to do until I think you'd done it 10 times.
Okay.
And it's one of those sort of unique. You got to press it here and do that, and then it comes off, which is probably good because you don't want that thing falling off. Mid match.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see.
Very good.
Yeah, and then Manners always have something new and creative that they're working on. So
very good.
They had some tweaks done on some stocks, but I don't. Now I'm trying to remember if they actually showed me all the details or not. I think I was going to come back and chat with them, and then I think we got distracted and something
had shots
happened. Somewhere. Probably had shots.
Yeah. I noticed a fair bit of reloading gear had come out. I saw like Frankfurt Arsenal had pushed out a whole bunch of new reloading gear.
Well, the only thing I saw from them, but I didn't stop at their stand for very long, was their automatic setup.
Yes. Yep.
Which was their big centerpiece at the show.
Yeah.
That was what they were sort of promoting.
Yep.
Yeah. What do they drop?
Well, I'm not sure if it's like brand new.
Okay.
Let me go find my notes here because I did.
Oh, you've got notes.
Well,
someone came prepared.
Please. I just got to find them now.
Okay, we get a year a while. So I dropped into Henderson Precision. I don't know if you know of those guys, but they do a really kick-ass trimmer.
Yep.
And so that looks really good.
Yep. That's the one that just sort of slides back and forth, is it?
Yeah.
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 Oh, very good.
That looks very excellent. And they've got a few other unique products that they're launching at the moment. So I look forward to seeing them. One was a chassis. They're working on a chassis. They said they're not quite there. It's very much in development.
Yep.
They've got some Arca rails and some other bits and pieces, but all you sort of you meet guys like that, and they're real creative in that.
Yeah.
So their Arca rails are way different to anything I've seen actually. So that was good to see them. Caught up with a company. So I'm waiting in line. I've got this meeting with some night vision thermal guys.
Yep.
And so I'm waiting there. I got there, and they were still tied up with the previous meeting. So I'm standing there. I'm just looking around. I look over and the stand behind us, and I've been standing there for like 10 minutes, and I look behind me. I'm like, oh, they're making some reloading gear. Huh. Very unique, different looking.
Yep.
And I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, what is that? What is that achieving? And I'm sort of overhearing what they're saying, but I could barely hear them, but I could hear them enough to get a little bit of context to what they're talking about, and also that their voice sounded weird. So I've sort of edged in a little bit closer, and they built this auto decapping machine. So you basically throw your brass in, and it will run it all down and punch it through, and it'll pop the primers out, and you just sit back and drink beer or whatever you want to do.
Perfect.
And it will do. I seem to remember somewhere in the numbers of like 1,000 an hour or something like that. It's just like punches through them.
Yeah.
Could be way more than that. And then I realised why their voice sounded funny. It's because it sounded like mine. They're Australians.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, come all this way to just accidentally stand here and realise that this is an Australian invention.
Wow.
And they also did some resizing, like automatic resizing machines, but very different, not using dies.
Yep.
So much more in the pistol world, but yeah, very interesting to see. So I've been in touch with them since, and we hopefully getting some of their gear.
That'd be great. Because at the moment, like that sort of decapping sort of process is something that's like, this is such a simple process. Surely there's something out there. But that's cool.
Well, there is. There is. What did Franklin? Frankfurt asked.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Frankfurt.
Because there's Franklin Armory over there, and I kept getting confused between the two.
Well, I'm presuming that some of this stuff is new. I knew that I think it was a 10-station progressive automatic thing that was a big thing. But I think recently they also brought out a bit more of a cheaper budget single-stage press. Mm-hmm. I know lately they've just been pushing a few other.
Is that like an update to the one that you got?
I think it was more targeted for a cheaper setup.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they were working on something another level up as well.
Okay. Yep.
But that would be cool to see.
Nice.
The other thing I saw, did KRG bring out something?
That was my next one. Yeah, KRG brought out a new chassis.
Yep.
C4, I think.
Because I was like looking at that going, that's right. Yep.
C4, if I've got that correct, and I may not. Hey, I actually took some photos of this one. I took photos of most of them, but I took some very particular photos because they had some really cool little features. Now I've got to get through all the bloody photos shot to remind me about these. So this is to put it in their package. This is a step up from the whiskey. Mm-hmm. So you've got the Bravo, and then what's the next one? Did that just move?
I think the lights might be falling off from the edge.
Well done. Anyway, so the KRG knows we're talking about it. It's starting to move. So we've got the X-ray.
Yep.
And then the whiskey, and then this sits over and above that. And it's got all these quick little features. So it's got the one that I found most interesting is Andy, you'll see here, maybe on the actual video, we'll get an image up of this one, but you see that little thing behind the trigger. So it's like it looks like a rest for your finger. Well, it is, and it actually cocks your finger around, so you are perfectly flat on the trigger.
Yeah.
I
noticed that also that thumb shelf is massive as well.
Yeah, the thumb shelf is adjustable.
Yep.
You can move it around how you want, and this finger rest is adjustable. And I looked at it, I'm like, okay, that might feel like it gets in the way.
Just quickly, if you send that to me, I can chuck that up on the screen for everybody to see. Here and now.
This is the new podcast.
New podcast is
2022. Here we come.
All over it.
That's right.
Now, that would be like a similar sort of concept to MPA, sort of have like a finger rest sort of guide as well?
I believe they do, yeah, but I can't say I'm familiar with it. I'm trying to send it to you.
Come on, mate.
Anyway, that's right.
Don't promise
we'll work on that.
Don't promise. Can't deliver.
Exactly right. There was that C4. So there's heaps of cool little adjustments, like the bag rider underneath, like on a whiskey, that's a thing you bolt onto.
Yes.
Well, this one's adjustable. You can move it up and down according to that.
Yep. So instead of having to play with your bipod legs to move things up and down, you can adjust that.
You could adjust that. Yeah, absolutely. So there's lots of those little things, but they're all features that just make it more expensive because there's more moving parts, there's more bits and pieces, and so this is the next step up in chassis. But it is, I mean, KRG I think make excellent chassis, and excellent top tier chassis. They sort of put everything in there, and so I think it's a good step up from them. Kestrel dropped a new shot timer of all things.
All right, I haven't seen this one.
And so that's the shot timer there. I'm sure we'll get an image up.
It's pretty good.
It's quite a big screen. But then there's also a secondary screen on the end for the shooter to be able to see. So you've got, if you were to hold like your phone, for example, you'd have a screen there, but obviously imagine it's a lot thicker. And then at the top of your phone, there's also another screen so that if you're pointing that towards a shooter and you're looking at the main screen, the shooter can also see the front of it. Or if you just want to, if you want it on your pocket, like if you want to wear it on your belt, you will also be able to see the top screen. So that was really good.
Nice.
And then
it's not detachable. It's like
so it's just one unit.
Yep.
And then there are some features, and I don't think these are quite ready yet, but I believe that the intention with this is that it hooks into practice score. Oh. And so when you finish a stage, it'll automatically upload the time into practice score, so there's no manual entry of time.
That's pretty cool.
That is
very convenient.
Phenomenal. That is excellent.
Especially for like your sort of handgun sort of stuff where it's everything's time based. Yeah,
absolutely. So that's a very cool little that is one that I one of those things where you're like, I did not expect to see this from Kestrel. That was absolutely rad. What else did you see from afar?
Now I saw on someone's story and I was like, that's a really cool thing, but I totally missed the brand or who made it. But it was a chassis, and the fore end had adaptable sections, so you could essentially make this fore end longer and bolt it together, or take the sections off and make it shorter. And I think you could do it by like a 2 or a 3 inch section.
Okay,
I did see that actually. That looked pretty cool. I can't remember the brand either, but it was a pretty cool system.
Yeah,
I've vaguely remember that I was aware of it, but I couldn't tell you who.
I tried finding information and Googling it, but I couldn't see it. It was just a bloke put it up on a story, and I was like, that's sweet, I should save that. And I didn't. So
good. Oh, if someone knows who that is, drop in the comments. Josh, are you monitoring comments at all?
I am.
See if we get an answer.
I managed to chuck that shot timer up.
Oh, you did?
Found that one.
Okay, there you go. Cool. Zero Compromise dropped an 8 to 40 optic, not to leave them out of the scope discussion. That's I mean, they make some super, super nice gear.
Or the zoom.
Arcan Optics had a look at their EP5, which is a step up from the EP4. A few little nice features and tweaks, all really good value for money, but they fixed the reticle from the EP4.
Okay.
And I think that was a really good move. Yeah, big much
fantastic.
nicer reticle from there. Flying through a few things here. We're back on the MDT stand. MDT started doing some laminated stocks.
I saw them. Yeah, they
were cool. And they got a new bipod also.
Yes. It was more like a lightweight system, wasn't it?
A little bit, away from the Skypod.
Now, explain the J. Allen chassis.
J. Allen chassis. Do you remember the J. Allen chassis when they were J. Allen?
Not really, no. Okay. I mean, how many years ago was that? Because I probably wasn't looking at chassis back then.
Yeah, I would say 6 years, 7 years, maybe not that long, but it certainly feels like. So I had a J. Allen chassis.
Yeah.
And I bought that in Brisbane when I was up there for the first shot I went up there for. My guess is that must be around 2015 or so.
Yep.
So 6, 7 years. Okay, so that was, and then maybe a couple of years after that, they got into financial problem, and I think actually now I'm gonna remember all of this wrong. Someone please correct me. I got a feeling maybe it was early COVID that they went out. Maybe that's why. Maybe it was sort of but MDT bought the rights, the designs, the name, whatever it is that they bought, and so J. Allen sort of produced these hybrid chassis stocks.
Yep.
And they were very much a chassis, but sort of a little bit more towards a feel of a stock.
Okay.
And they were very smart. They were like a real smart, intelligent build. I bought one. I didn't love it, but I knew guys who did. And I think that was very much just the way I shot just didn't gel with it.
Because I've definitely heard the name, and then like looking at the chassis, I was like, oh, they look pretty cool. They look slick, you know.
I got a real feeling that my time frames on all of these are way out of whack, but I mean, the last 10 days have been a complete blur.
Right off.
In ISO. So,
they do look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I've got one up on screen and they look sweet.
And so is that the red one?
No.
Okay, cool. So MDT bought it and they've sort of sat on it for a little while, and they're not ready yet. I think a lot of that particular one, if you see any ones from Shot, were 3D print sort of componentry, but they are almost there to actually release the J. Allen, bring the name back.
Oh, that's
bring
pretty
the brand back, which is excellent. They've got another Oryx shot. I mean, they just had so many products.
Yeah.
And I think like one of the things that I got from talking with people at Shot, like at the moment the supply issue is so real and such a big issue, problem. There are so many companies that did not release anything new because they can't keep up with what they're trying to make anyway.
Yep.
And I think that there are a lot of products that are ready to release.
Yep.
Now, I'm not talking about companies MDT size. I'm talking about big companies.
Yep.
They got a lot of new products that are ready to release, but they're like, well, there's no point releasing it because we can't make them.
Yeah, because you're just trying to keep up with the other stuff. And
so I suspect, and not suspect, I believe it's very much the case that in the next 2-3 years, as this supply crisis hopefully lessens significantly, there will just be this glut of new products. When their production capabilities are running lower than 140% or whatever they're doing, when they've got production space, they'll be able to hit these, and there will be an absolute, like another Shot in maybe 2 or 3 years, just going to have so many new options because there's been development that's been going on that hasn't hit that. It's hit that point where it's ready, but it's not ready.
Yeah.
And so, but MDT have bucked that trend because I guess they're a small and nimble enough company where they just, new innovation products, that sort of thing. So.
No, that's pretty cool. Well, hopefully that happens, and I'm sure it will at some point. Like with all industries, it'll all bounce back.
Well, I mean, this is not exclusive to the shooting industry at the moment. Yeah, well and truly.
No, that's it.
We do have a question. Someone has asked about the Hornady CX projectiles.
Got a good chat with Hornady about those. They're basically the GMX with a marketing campaign.
Cool.
Yeah. Pretty much
won't bother finding an image then.
came out. So there's a wider line, but it is the GMX projectile. It is a copper projectile, but they've broadened the line, they've renamed it, and they've sort of rebranded it. Sort of like what we did with this podcast, where it's not better
now,
but it's
it's newer, it's better, it's had a facelift.
It's better. We put an image on the screen for people.
Yeah,
perfect.
I've got a longer beard.
I'm out of whiskey. So it's rebranded and expanded.
Yes.
That's rhyme. I should be in marketing.
Rebranded and expanded.
That's right.
And hype it up. And so, back on
the CX, they do look interesting. Yes. Obviously, there's starting to be a little bit more of a push towards copper projectiles.
Yep.
California, of course, over in the US. But in Europe, it's becoming more and more common to see. And there's an element of like legislation and an element of sort of government pressure against lead. But then there's also an element of they actually perform really well, and they we know with the outer edge stuff that's made here, that copper stuff is excellent, and so it's no big surprise, and there will be more and more both for bullets and glasses, and also for just general ammunition.
Yeah,
I think we will see more and more of the copper. No, it's not. I think we will see. We will see. We will see. This is well beyond my guessing games. This is happening.
Yeah.
So.
Well, like speaking of projectiles and cartridges,
Yes,
I heard someone talking about an 8.6 Blackout.
I know. Crazy. It's crazy.
Like,
yeah.
have you got some stats on that?
Yeah. Did you see the twist rate you need for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking 33 cal,
Yep.
210 to 300 grains, can go up to 2,400 feet per second.
Did you say? 8.6. Yeah, makes sense. Yep.
And 1 in 3
Twist
inch
rate.
twist. Like, you may as well just thread a bolt in there. Like, just screw it in. Should be right. Like, that is nuts.
It is.
That's not
1 in 3 inch twist rate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not rifling.
That's
That's
not
just
normal.
threading.
It's on the way. Yeah, it's gonna be.
But,
Yeah.
you know, they're saying like out of a 10-inch barrel, like really small, lightweight hunting like gig, and it just puts down heaps of energy.
I bet it does.
Like, yeah. That'd be interesting to see. Like, but anyway, I thought that was cool.
Yeah. No, that's. I didn't clue onto that one until probably day 2 of the show.
Yeah.
And I walked past them like, oh my gosh, that is huge. That is massive.
Have
And then someone told me they were at range day.
Oh, spewing. Have you found a photo of that? Because the round looks hilarious
pull
as
it
well.
up.
Hey, and make sure you're seeing the actual round, because there is a round going round that has been claimed as the
round gone
8.6
round.
Blackout, that has got like a 2 to 3 headspace, bolt face on it, but it's not. That's
that.
not the cartridge. And I
So-
think a lot of people are pushing. Yeah,
Am I right in thinking the parent case is a 6.5 Creedmoor case?
well, not honestly. I honestly don't know.
Not sure. Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
We don't know much.
No,
It's all rumours.
nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
8.6 Blackout.
Get onto it.
It looks like just a short case with a real long, just copper thing hanging out the
They
end.
do look unusual. What else is cool? There was
What else?
there was what am I looking at here? Chassis. Oh yeah, it's the chassis from Spur. Spur have released a chassis.
I've missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They I've got some photos on camera of it, but they put a Spur chassis, and it looks very much like a Spur mount in terms of all the little sort of screw-in points and that sort of gear. That stuff, this M-Lock junk, go with Spur mounts.
Yeah. Okay. I can only imagine all the accessories you'd be able to throw on it.
Exactly right. It is very industrial looking. Yeah, the
Right.
Spur mounts look very industrial.
Yeah.
It's not
Tactical industrial.
It's not a bad thing. It's just it is very much the branding they've gone with.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. And I mean, obviously Spur, if you know Spur gear, they're extremely well made.
Great stuff.
They're over engineered. They're a brilliant option. These will be solid. Just some people won't like the look of them, and some people. I don't know what the price point is on them, but I'm going to guess they're up there.
Up there. Yep.
Yeah, and they will be phenomenal. They will never break, and they'll be tough as.
Have you got a photo?
I do have a photo. It's not a brilliant one. I got better ones on my camera, but I haven't grabbed that out yet. If you can see them there.
I sort of see, especially in the fore end. Where
Correct.
You got all the threaded holes and that sort of thing.
All of those sort of.
Wow.
Yeah. There's lots going on there. So that is that was from Spur. That was pretty cool. Magpul have a new stock, which is based very much off it's a chassis based off their old chassis, which but it's about a pound lighter, half kilo lighter.
Okay.
And it's designed a bit more along the hunting side of things because they had complaints that it was too heavy. And then what was this chassis that I saw? I don't even know the name of it.
Oh, there we go. I've seen a photo pop up.
This was
no, I missed it.
This is a Bugatti. This is a chassis. I think it was an MPA, but it had. No, this might have been XLR. XLR pulled out of the show as well. I was going to go and speak to them about you.
Oh, crap.
And have some serious words with them.
Don't trust that guy.
Don't trust that guy. So that's there's lots to play with. New pulsars, new laser range finding thermion scope looking.
Oh, that looks intense.
It's
let's just throw a big laser rangefinder on top of that.
Yeah, correct. So that was quite cool.
Because that's the most tricky thing I found when I was out spotlighting is gauging your distance, and I can only imagine it would be more difficult looking through like an infrared screen, a filter of some type, and a little LCD display inside of a scope.
Yep,
it'd be real tricky, but
it is very hard to gauge. So, a lot of options come with the rangefinders, but they've got that sort of scope-looking feel.
Yep.
And then putting a rangefinder on it. So
that's cool.
That was good. I think by about this time, my feet were killing me, my back was sore, everything. And I had taken cameras over to. We worked out a plan because I was going by myself. Normally we'd have two of us go and we'd film and do that sort of thing, but I was going by myself, so I was going to try and film a bunch of stuff. So taking the cameras, we're going to dump the footage. We'd had all that sort of worked out. We tested it, put the footage up, and then the gentleman back here, we're going to grab the videos, and Josh as well, and upload, edit them throughout and be able to drop them out through the day.
Yep.
That was the goal. How did that go, Josh? How many videos did I upload?
6.
Yeah.
How many did we use?
None.
0. In fact, I ended up using some of the stories you put up on Instagram quickly and made a video and put them out.
Sorry, there wasn't a lot of content from it.
I came in every morning, just maybe there'll be some today. Was there some that day? No, it's nothing. I was like, I'll just go about my day then.
We got busy. Honestly, the
too
reason
much
I
beer,
went,
too many shots,
beers,
too many paddles.
Lots of paddles. Yeah. The reason I went this year, and I would understand that many people didn't want to go this year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I got COVID. It was a high risk of it. I mean, it was almost inevitable. I know quite a few people who did.
Yep.
But because of that, there was a lot less people. And I got in front of some people in terms of from a business point of view, from conversations and meetings and stuff that I perhaps wouldn't have got in front of otherwise.
Yeah.
So that's not podcast related, that's work related. But that will play out hopefully in very, very good things. But these just sort of kept coming up one after another, meeting booked and then this and go see these people and chat to these people and got recommended to go see these people. And I got to about, and I was there for most of the days, for 3 days, and just run off my feet.
Oh, I bet.
And mentally pretty drained. And so I'm like, do you know what? I don't want to carry a big heavy camera around for hours. And then I actually got to Thursday and I'm like, you know what? I've done 3 solid days of the show plus range day. I did film a bit of range day. Don't think we uploaded much of that. And then I got to Friday and I'm like, you know what? I've been to Vegas 3 times.
Yep.
I've barely seen any casinos. I've barely seen anything. There's all these things that you should go see. They're all free. You can just walk past and that sort of gear. I'm like, I haven't seen any of these. So Friday was I only had about 4 hours between leaving the hotel and having to go to the airport. So I'm like, right, I've done all the conversations I need to at the show. I'm going to go and I'm going to walk the strip and go and tick a few of the boxes that I sort of wanted to tick. And I did a few things where, like a FaceTime and my daughter's back home and showed them the flamingos at the Flamingo Hotel and just a few things like that. And so I ignored everyone on Friday and just walked the strip for 4 hours and had the pizza that I really liked.
Nice.
Butters, if Butters is listening, he'll know the pizza I'm talking about. It's about 1 inch thick.
Yeah, right.
It is deep dish pizza. It is about that thick. And
order it by the slice.
No, but I was going to order a small and just eat as much as I could.
Yep.
So when Butters and I went, we ordered the smallest one, right? Because it said feeds 2 to 3 people.
Oh, jeez.
And we're like, well, it's a small, but 2 to 3 people. I don't know how this is going to work.
2 to 3 American people.
yeah. And I'm like, all right. And I always, when I'm in the US, I always order small everything because it's just so big, so much food. And this thing came out and it was about, less than dinner plate size.
Yep.
It was not huge. And we looked at this and we're like, oh, well, what are we going to order after this? And we got, it was probably 6 slices or something. we got through about 2 each, and we're like, oh man, this is so much food.
Right.
Just because of the intensity of how thick it is. Anyway, I love the pizza. It was so good. And I went back. I'm like, I'll just order a small, thanks. And I'll eat like 2 slices and just leave the rest. And she's like, oh, do you want like the individual serve? I'm like, oh, there's an individual serve. And so I got like a really small but super dense pizza. Yeah. And so I sat there drinking gin and tonic and eating inch-thick pizza and then went from there into an Uber and left Vegas.
And a food coma.
And at some point, I reckon that pizza's where I got COVID. No, I've got no idea. COVID, because honestly, could have got COVID anywhere that week. I tested negative on the Wednesday of the thing, but I mean, I think I still could have got it Monday and still tested negative on Wednesday.
That's it.
Flew out Friday and then came home and then tested positive and then had 10 days sitting at home.
Rest time.
Yeah. So anyway, how was your January?
Fine. Boring compared to that. How many steps did you work up or getting around?
I don't know. I should.
Because I reckon it'd be up there.
I can tell you this, that there was a lot of steps taken at especially compared to normal. I mean, I walk up and down stairs a fair bit during the day.
Yep.
And it's trending low for the last 10 days. In the vicinity, I don't know where do I say that's my stand hours. This is super exciting, but this is what the new podcast is all about. Is just
it's the little things that count.
I don't know how to look up steps. Yeah. Anyway, lots is the point.
I'm going to be over 25,000.
Over 25,000 per day.
Yeah. I remember going.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days straight of over 25,000 steps.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I was right. No wonder I needed 10 days to recover.
Yeah, I reckon just from that.
Wow. Anyway, that was shot for 2022. We have got some videos. We haven't got interviews, but we have got some videos and photos and stuff. So stay tuned to that. I know that there is heaps of stuff on YouTube. If you want to check out new products, there's heaps of videos. I mean, there's every second blokes walking around with a bloody phone and a fancy microphone.
Yep.
And you know, man, enough people getting content here. People can watch videos. There's plenty around.
Yep.
And so it was good. I look forward to going back. Hopefully less COVID-y next time.
That's it.
Round. And anyway, that was tonight's podcast. That's we'll see what we talk about next time.
That's a wrap.
Sounds good. How do we end this now? Josh, what do we do?
Push buttons.
Okay, we'll do that.
Hype.
Get down.